Good morning, everybody. Figure we would try and keep this consistent and do it again as we did yesterday. And no, I'm not homeless, just in case people are asking me once again. I just is being out in the car because it's easier and I don't wake everybody else up. So it's Saturday, we ain't working today. So anybody that's worried about it, thanks for your concern. But that ain't the case. So one thing that I did think about that you guys should really look into the second time we went to Iraq and the circumstances behind it are not what we were told by any shape, way, shape, or form. Uh, there's a lot of speculation and rumors that you used to be able to find a lot more about it, but they went over, I believe, they went over there to find the tomb of Gilgamesh. And there were also rumors that he was a giant and over 17 feet tall, which some folks might think that that sounds absolutely crazy, but when you look into the truth about Gilgamesh and the history, then the truth's always in plain sight. And the way that they went into the museum in Iraq and took the good stuff but left all of the fakes, you don't do that without having inside information. It was like an action movie. I mean, really, more than it was in whatever they said it was. The original reason we went was because Saddam told them that he wouldn't sell us oil anymore without for paper money. He wanted gold. And they said no. They said we'll give you paper money and we'll take our oil. And he said no. And then right after that, he became a traitor to the United States because he wouldn't take their paper fiat currency. That's no longer backed by gold. So, I mean, we did that. We did it to him. We did it to Muammar Gaddafi. If you ever seen the story about Gaddafi, if you haven't seen it, you need to look it up. And the man-made river. It is one of the most beautiful yet sad stories that I've ever seen. You were able to. Gaddafi gave everybody land, a house, free. He wanted his people to be taken care of the way that we should take care of each other. I mean, that's the biggest thing is we're all so divided right now, everywhere. It doesn't matter where in the United States you are. You might find a random group that's not here or there, but for the most part, people don't even talk to their neighbors anymore, and that's not what the United States was founded on, like at all. It was to come together, one nation under God, for liberty and the pursuit of happiness. And I don't see that being what anybody's doing anymore. Every little company is getting gobbled up by the big companies. The It's silly. Like, take time to meet each other. Quit looking at everybody like a stranger in their danger. People used to get along and be pretty good to each other. You used to be able to walk over to your neighbor's house and borrow a cup of milk or a cup of eggs. But I definitely think that we need to get together and come together more as one because, like it says, united we stand, divided we fall. I know it's not a political channel or anything like that, not even trying to go there. So, more of conspiracies and exploring the truth behind them. But that's a pretty big one with the tomb of Gilgamesh and over going to Iraq. If you missed that, that's a little bit further back. But anyway, I wanted to keep it consistent and try this again. So we're gonna do it every morning. I know that not a lot of people are up, but the ones that are and that want to see it will see it. So good morning, whoever you were. Yeah, be good to one another. Love each other. Quit worrying about making the almighty dollar, but ain't almighty by any means. Worry more about your family, your friends, neighbors, and spending time with them. You know, spend time in your community. Support the little businesses that are still out there to hopefully so they can thrive. I mean, yeah, best of luck to us all as a nation and as a country and as people. You know, we're one human race. It doesn't matter with the color. We all have the same stuff inside. So the rest of it has been kept alive through media and BS like that to keep the hate going, which is silly. There's no reason at all. It's because somebody has a different colored shell. You don't look at somebody and say, hey, we have the same car, but I don't like your car because of the color. That's just silly. Like, plus, you didn't even get to pick the color. You were given the color. Not like we all got to line it up and then say, ooh, I like that with that and that and that. I mean, if y'all did, then let me know because that's not how I was brought here. I don't remember any of that. But the the 70s and basically back when Woodstock was a good thing and amazing and everybody came together, we needed we need to find some way to do something like that again and bring that many people together. And then when we bring that many people together, then we need to have some real discussions about where we live and what's going on here because the powers that be should not be in control anymore. Our country, if we actually still have a country in 10 years, Sam, if it doesn't change drastically very quickly, nowhere good. It's going to hell in a handbasket quicker than shit. Especially with all the businesses getting bought up by everybody from outside of the United States. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but in Idaho, Oregon, and Oklahoma now, where I'm working currently, any of the hotels, and I don't have anything against anybody, but any of the hotels are no longer owned by Americans. If they are Americans, they're newly ordained Americans that are probably here legally, like actually legally, not illegal aliens. I got nothing, dude. Some of the illegals that I met have been some of the hardest working guys I've ever met in my life. I don't have anything against them either. They say that they take our jobs. No, they don't. They take the jobs that nobody wants. They do shit that I don't want to do, and I'm, not trying to be rude or anything. Good on you. But it's supposed to be a place to bring you broken, you're tired, you're weary. That's what the United States was supposedly formed on. So if that wasn't it, then everybody quit throwing a fit about it. Like it is what it is, you guys. The the thing about them crossing the border illegally, there's a bigger game at play with the amount of people that are all at the border at once. And I don't know if people are just missing that or what. It ain't about them crossing the border. There's something a lot bigger and deeper and nefarious going on through the border. And that's what we need to be more worried about if we're going to worry about it at all. And personally, I think we should all go over there and fucking take them a sandwich and say welcome. There's we did that instead of trying to make them an enemy. Oh, you're not from here. So what, dude? Nobody's from anywhere. Look how many people move throughout their life. Nobody wants to. A lot of people don't want to stay where they were born at. I mean, they can, but especially some of the other countries, from what I've heard compared to here, I don't blame them. I'd do the same thing. I wouldn't want to be stuck someplace where you're making 17 cents a day. Even if you can live off of that, what kind of a life is that? With a dirt floor, a mud shack? That's good. I'd much rather come to a place that's going to give me a car and a house and all that. Like, and I'm not saying it's for everybody. Read in between the lines, Michael. I don't know what to tell you on that. Then if that's how you took it, then that's how you took it. Everybody's from somewhere, man. I wasn't trying to be all. I don't know exactly what I said. I'll have to watch it later and see what I said. So, you got me. Basically, I was saying that a lot of people don't like to stay where they're born, and everybody's from some place. I Well, then I'll have to rewatch it, Michael. I'm not sure what I said. So, as far as exactly what you're saying right there. So, hope everybody's having a great day and a good weekend so far. I know it's early. It's barely started, at least over here. It's fucking 6:30 in Oklahoma. Waiting for the family to wake up and get going. But we still got a couple hours before that. No, that's good. You just caught me off guard. I wasn't expecting somebody to pick apart my words that quick. North Carolina. I like it. Nope, I was just waking up, having coffee and nicotine. You know, breakfast of champions. Me and Alanis Morissette. I just don't know how they are if you. Yes, you do, Michael. Michael, I got a question for you, man. You seem a pretty intelligent guy. Have you looked into the my lunch break and some of the old buildings and the way that he's broke down the narrative on the of the old buildings? Because that at first you're like, wait, what? And then it's actually gets pretty crazy and intense. Especially now that he's gotten up to a couple hundred of them. My mama wasn't a good person, so nope, I didn't pay attention to her. Pay attention to what I'm doing, and actually, I could probably pay better attention. That's an honest observation. Because there's some shit I do pay really good attention to, and then there's some that I definitely don't. But I don't know how. I don't know. If I had a mom that was around a little bit more. My mom worked a lot, which nothing against her. That's what she wanted to do. Uh, yeah, she worked like day and night, so I never saw her. Pretty much was raised by a pale horse. I read Behold the Pale Horse back in buck 2014, 15, 2015 was when I read The Pale Horse. Right around then. It is. It is a very good one, Sam. And Sam, have you looked? Have you and whatever if people leave, they leave. But so one thing that I got really tired of in my feed, and this was back around 2015. It was like 2013, but I kept seeing all this crap that would pop up because I was big into this conspiracies and figure things out, or trying to find what truth you could. But one thing that kept used to pop up in my feed was uh, stuff about flat Earth, and I'm like, this is the dumbest shit. Are you serious right now? Like we've known for thousands of years supposedly that it's a ball, right? But so I look into it, this guy's offering a couple Bitcoin to go ahead and to give him one proof that the Earth ain't flat, or to prove that NASA's correct without using NASA. I'm like, that dude, that can't be that hard. Not with us knowing for this long. That was 2013. I have not been able to find one true proof that we're on a damn globe yet. No shit. If you guys have seen, if you haven't seen The Awakening of Benjamin Owen, you need to look that one up. That one, Owen Benjamin. Sorry, Owen Benjamin. I always get his first and last name mixed up. Big Bear. But The Awakening of Owen Benjamin is probably the closest thing to what happened to me. He just had the brains to actually film it all while he was doing the research, and he did it all while he was on a live stream, or multiple live streams. But cognitive dissonance is so real. People get so triggered about this topic, which, if you have no emotional connection to it, it shouldn't trigger you unless it's a fundamental belief, which is why it triggers the way it does. But if you go to, it's flatearthdave.com, and he has a link in there to the FE Clock app. It's in Android and Apple's App Store. And yeah, it costs a couple bucks, but all the videos are put there in playlists that you can find them. All the videos that he has on there have all been shadow banned by YouTube and the different uh, platforms. because of it. And then they put the silly little Wikipedia link underneath any of the videos that are actually usually good videos and says the flat earth, this is an archaic deception. It gives the Wikipedia description of it, which it's not archaic. They were still teaching flat earth back in the 60s in the United States, in some states. Uh, that's the part that blew me away. There was a lady, Ruth, where he goes and he was visiting his mom at a retirement home. And his mom was taking a nap, and he asked if there were any people that were close to 100 years old there. And they said they had Ruth. She was 102. And he went in and talked to her, and then he asked her what she was taught. And they were taught in school. Like the lady still remembered her teacher, the name of the school she went to. Like she remembered all this stuff. She was a very lucid elderly lady. And uh, she remembers being taught that the earth was flat in school in the United States within the last 100 years. So the stuff about it being a concrete, evident fact that's part of the lie. Why do they lie about it? I don't know. That you have to ask the liar about that. That's not. We can't figure out why someone else lies. No, a lot of people can't. No, even the scientists, they don't actually. And when you look at NASA, all the pictures, once you dig into this, there's no, they're not pictures. They're images, all of them. There are no photos, actual photographs, which they'll even tell you that their images are composites or that they are put together in a computer. Like the whole thing on the blue marble photo, the picture that came out on the iPhone, Rob Simmons did an interview and didn't really realize what was going on until after he did the interview, and his brain started putting it together after as he was doing the interview and afterwards. And now he's also on Team Flat Earth. The guy that worked for NASA that created the photo that was on the iPhone. He didn't even know it went on the iPhone until he got an iPhone and he saw it and he was like, "Oh, that's cool." But then he's like, "Wait a minute. They're telling everybody that's real and it's not." So, it's not. And if you go to do that Flat Earth Society and a disc that's spinning, it's shooting up through, that's propaganda stuff. It's because it's the first thing that pops up if you Google it, and it's called the Flat Earth Society. And that is either government plant or misinformation, whatever it is. There's a bunch of horse shit on that. Like, pardon the language, but it is set there to make people look crazy when they first Google it. They're like, "Oh, you're dumb. You seriously, you think we're on a disc shooting up at so many miles per?" No, we're flat. We're still. They cannot detect movement from the Earth. Even Einstein said that. You cannot detect that the Earth is moving from the Earth. Yet, there's still no proof to show that the Earth is moving. And then when you get into the sun halos that show up when they either do the sprays or there's a lot of moisture in the atmosphere, and then there is a sphere type thing, but it's the firmament. There's a barrier above and below, and it goes around us. But look up Project Fishbowl or Project Dominic. Uh, Yeah, they lied. The wind isn't created by the earth, it's spinning. There's nodes. Look up the tidal nodes. There's a bunch of nodes that pull water in for 6 hours and then push it out for 6 hours. That's how the tides change and what creates the winds because of the different temperatures in the water. I know it sounds actually logical and makes sense when you think about it. It's I don't know why they lie. There's a few ideas out there. One is that they're hiding more land outside Antarctica, that there's entire other worlds. They found one Buddhist map where it shows our known world. If you look at the Gleason map, which is a flat map with the Antarctic ice wall, like it used to be called the Arctic Circle. Yeah, there's a reason it was called that, or Antarctic Circle, whatever it was. But the wall is 200 feet high. Can't go there. It's protected by the Antarctic Treaty, which, if you look it up, they've changed the wording of it now a little bit, but it says that you can't go there without permission from your country. There's been a few people that have gone. When you hit the 60th degree south parallel, and you go beyond that, warships will turn you around. And you can also find those videos on Flat Earth Dave. China in the US for China, Alaska. Dude, we owe China so much money. China owns our country already. They were brilliant the way that they did it. They really were. Like as much as I don't like the fact of it, they nickel and dimed us. They did the long game. They sat there and said, "Well, we can make this for this and then sell it to them cheaper than they can make it." So then we buy it. Where does the money go? To them. They keep doing it, buying it over 50, 60 years. Yeah, you can nickel and dime a country to death. They've done it, and now they own what they own the most farmland other than Bill Gates in the United States. So no, I would look into it if you guys have the time. But you have to do it with an open mind. That's the biggest thing. Is go into it like you're a kid again. Because when I first looked, I did go into it biased. I was like, this is the dumbest shit I've ever heard. The Earth's flat, whatever. That is so dumb. I can't even believe people are even like. I went to prove it wrong because it was silly. I think the American dollar will be replaced for the primary exchange for oil. I don't think, unless they change the American dollar soon, I don't think it'll hold its weight very much longer. It doesn't have any weight to it anyway, other than the weight that we put in it, which anymore, they need to reset the actual wealth, redistribute it, because the we're getting off topic. Anyway, the the flat Earth part and um, there's a reason that there's a lot more of it coming out. Which when you start looking into it, it's actually starting to pop back up in my feed again now, after years of it being taken out. It's never been back since around 2015, 16 was when they really started censoring it. And now it's starting to trickle back out, but that's because there's so many more people. The Team Flat Earth doesn't lose members, we gain them. Nobody has ever been a flat earther and went back. We were all globers. That's where we all started out. Dude, we all learned the same stuff in grade school. That's what everybody forgets. We were all sitting there in the stupid little class. As soon as you walk in there, what, kindergarten, they got a damn globe, and then you start learning about the planets, the solar system, blah, blah, blah. No, they're luminaries. When you look at them through a telescope, when you look at a star through a telescope, it looks like it's water with the light shining through it. Like, I've done that. We used to be part of an astronomical society. We'd go out to the middle of the desert, and these guys had these crazy telescopes, dude, big. Like, they'd put a lot of money in. A lot of them built them themselves, but they were the mirrors that they had in them, and how good you could see Jupiter and some of the other luminaries. They don't look anything like what NASA shows at all. Similar, kinda, barely, but the stuff that NASA shows is all CGI. It even says it in the pictures. You're welcome to look that up. Like, I mean, fact check me on it. I mean, the guy, he's upped it now. From the time when I first tried to start proving it fake or whatever, or a psyop, like they say. When I first started proving, the guy was offering 1 Bitcoin. Now he's offering 3 Bitcoin, and still yet no one has been able to prove it. Another guy was doing a contest for 100 grand for anybody that could prove the curvature. That's the easiest thing to start with. The curvature of the Earth is 8 inches per mile squared. So for every mile, you square the number. It's 8 inches per mile squared. So 1 mile is 8 inches, 2 miles, 64 inches. Okay, it keeps going. The curvature does not add up. No way, shape, or form, especially shit in Oklahoma or any place that's pretty flat. In Idaho is a little harder to tell because they got a lot of mountains, so you can't really tell if it curves or not. But there's no curvature even when you raise up. When you raise up from a ball, you should start to see the horizon go from flat to, once you get up to a certain point, it should start to curve, which we don't see. We see a fisheye lens that curves from the ground up when the video is uncut, and it starts going as soon as they leave the ground. There's not any curvature, dude. We've done laser tests. I got a buddy that just did one that was a 34-mile test across water. There's nothing. Water finds its level. There's a reason you use water spirit levels in construction. Water always finds its level. It rests flat. except in one little drop where it's like a little baby drop. Then that's the only time you ever see water curve. And it doesn't stick to a damn spinning ball. If you put water on a ball and spin it, it flies off. And they try to say gravity. Look up gravity. Which type of gravity are you talking about? There's Newtonian gravity, there's little g, big G. Witsit gets it, explains it way better than I do. This guy has a memory. I think he has like a photographic memory because he can recite everything that he reads. His channel is Witsit Gets It, Witsit, and then Gets It, Getsit. But the guy debates some of these folks that is, he makes them look like they don't even know how to wipe their own ass. Like, for real. But it's definitely, once that you can wake up to that, it destroys all the other conspiracies by proxy. Then when you start seeing this or that, you're like, no, they're just trying to lie to you some more to make you more scared. They keep the fear porn going. Because if they keep you scared and not knowing where you live, the easiest way to keep somebody controlled is to not let them know where they are or where they're from. If you don't know your history, you're doomed to repeat it. So we don't know the true history by any means. There's buildings in the United States that are way we haven't built them. I've done construction since I was 15 years old, and some of the shit in some of the buildings, the churches, the Capitol buildings, a lot of any of the ones with the great big pillars like that, that are the old style pillars, like at the White House or like your state capitol. They were founded. They and there's history of them. They say they were built. They weren't built. They were founded because they say that they built it in a year. You want to tell me how they got 1,000 horse and buggies to pull all that stone through the mud and shit in the winter, but they were able to finish it in a year? Where did all the horses sleep? Where did they sleep? Where did they get the materials from back then? And airships. They used airships. The Zeppelin was the way to get rid of the airships. They got everybody scared of it. If you've listened to the actual video or the audio from when the Zeppelin did, it is horrifying. It would make you never want to go on an airship. They used to be a primary travel. They say that the silos were used, the old brick silos that are like that you see here and there still standing, but that nobody uses anymore. They weren't silos to put grain in. What farmer's going to climb up a damn thing and dump the grain down the top to fill it up? None of them, dude. Come on. They were used to get into the airships so the airships could stay up in the air. That's my theory. I don't know. I haven't seen any videos on that. But airships used to be a primary way of travel, and I think that there's a lot more to that. And let me ask you this. You pay taxes for our government, which government means to govern the mind when you look up the root words. But for our government to develop all these technologies, and anytime anybody develops a tech, either to save money, to save any kind of money, or to save uh, like the carburetors that you get 100 miles to the gallon. There's no reason fucking 100 years later we should still be getting 30 miles to the gallon. That is asinine, and we know that. But people are willing to do it because they're too busy with their own shit, living their own life, which is okay. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to live your own life. But if we came together and actually said, wait, we're not going to do this anymore. You're bringing out a car in 2024 that gets 8 miles to the gallon, but it has a diesel motor in it. That's ridiculous. It's 2024. That shit should be getting 50 to 100 miles to the gallon, if not run indefinitely. The tech's out there. The oil companies have bought it and hit it. But as far as we're all paying our taxes, doing this, doing that. And if we destroy the theory that we're on a spinning ball and we're flying through space, three different directions, a million miles an hour, zinging here and there. I mean, I thought it was pointless until I realized where we really live. And when I realized that, then it made a big difference. And it made me think that we need to get more people together to see the truth, to work together, to stick together. And then maybe, just maybe, we can turn this around. Because all it takes is a spark to ignite an amazing fire inside people. So all I can do is try to either help be that spark or spark somebody else to be that spark and to share the truth. So much love to everyone that came by. Thank you. And sorry I didn't answer more questions, but I will go back and look at that one, Michael, and see what I said that you asked me about. So hope you guys have a great day. Be good to one another. And I hope the day finds y'all smiling. Take care. See you tomorrow.